Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are unpacking a question that has literally haunted home renovators for decades. Are wool carpets actually worth their massive premium price tag? We're going to balance real, everyday homeowner experiences with official expert care guidelines to give you the ultimate bottom line on wool. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll dive into the wool carpet debate, weigh the pros and cons, run through routine care and maintenance, and wrap things up with a literal emergency spot removal guide. Section 1. The wool carpet debate. Is it really worth the premium price? So let's start exactly where we all go when we're making a massive purchase. Internet message boards. Over on a popular home improvement forum on Reddit, a user facing a big renovation asked this exact question. They pointed out that they had no kids, but they did have a house cat and a visiting dog. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, that single question sparked an absolute wildfire of a debate online, pitting the romantic idea of natural fibers right up against the harsh realities of daily life. And this perfectly illustrates the core conflict for buyers today. In one corner, you've got the luxurious, eco-friendly appeal of natural wool. In the other, the tough, budget-friendly reality of modern synthetic nylon fibers. It's basically nature versus technology. And the financial stakes, they are incredibly high. Section 2. Weighing pros and cons. The actual realities of living with wool. All right, on the pro side, let's look at the official word from the International Wool Textile Organization. They proudly point out that wool has been carpeting human homes since roughly the year 2000 BCE. I mean, why has it stuck around for literally thousands of years? It's all thanks to its bouncy, coil-like structure, making it incredibly resilient. Plus, it has this naturally high nitrogen and water content that makes it flame retardant. In fact, wool is an absolute powerhouse. It's a completely renewable and sustainable resource. But beyond just being green, it actively improves the room you're sitting in. It acts like a natural humidifier, soaking up moisture when it's humid and releasing it when the air is dry. It's even considered hypoallergenic, grabbing onto dust and allergens from the air and holding them tight until you vacuum them away. But here comes the reality check from everyday consumers. It isn't all perfect. Some users are super quick to point out the massive sticker shock. We're talking upwards of $30 per square foot for the high-end stuff. And since wool is basically a giant sponge, it drinks up accidental spills just as eagerly as it drinks up humidity. Oh, and if it gets soaked, one user literally just asked, "Do you like the smell of wet sheep?" But then, on the flip side, you have homeowners who will fiercely defend their investment. One buyer shared this amazing story of purchasing a house with 30-plus-year-old wool carpet that honestly looked like it wasn't even a year old. Their argument is pretty simple. If you treat it right, the sheer longevity easily justifies that scary upfront cost. Which brings us to Section 3, routine care and maintenance. How to actually keep your wool pristine. The good news is routine maintenance is definitely not some kind of dark art. It really just relies on simple preventative habits. The absolute golden rule? Don't let dirt touch it in the first place. Throwing down heavy-duty barrier mats at your entrances to catch shoe dirt and keeping a strict regular vacuuming schedule are your best lines of defense. Now, you have to be super careful here because you can't just use any old vacuum. Modern vacuums are often built with these incredibly stiff, aggressive roller brushes and intense suction. If you use those on wool, they will actually fuzz and shred the delicate fibers. You absolutely need a soft-touch, non-abrasive rotating brush. Honestly, you might even need to buy a specifically modified vacuum just for your new floors. Basically, you're doing battle with two completely different enemies. First, you've got particle soiling. Think dry dirt, sand, or spilled coffee grinds. That requires the gentle vacuuming we just talked about to safely lift it out of the tufts. Then there's liquid soiling, your wine, oil, grease. That stuff demands immediate, low-moisture attention before the thirsty wool drinks it right up. Moving into Section 4, the Spot Removal Guide. Consider this your emergency toolkit for spills. The official care guide lays out some really strict golden rules for emergencies. Number 1, always scoop or gather up as much of the spill as humanly possible before you even think about adding cleaner. Number 2, always work from the outside edge of the stain toward the middle so you don't spread it. And the absolute most critical rule of all, whatever you do, blot gently with a white cotton cloth. Never, ever rub or scour it, or you'll permanently destroy those natural fibers. From there, the treatment plans vary wildly depending on what exactly you just dropped. For instance, red wine needs a very careful sequence of blotting, applying a pre-tested spot remover, and rinsing with warm water. But what if you dropped chewing gum? Well, you actually have to freeze it completely solid with ice cubes in a plastic bag before you can safely scrape it away. And this logic scales up into a pretty and incredible resource. The official documentation features a highly specific 19-step treatment plan. It gives you the exact chemical and physical sequence to tackle almost any household disaster you can dream up, from butter and heavy cream all the way to ballpoint pen ink. It ensures you always use the right approach and, don't accidentally bleach your expensive floor. But what if a stain really sets in? Or what if the carpet just needs a deep, restorative clean after a few years of living on it? Experts strongly advise skipping the DIY and calling a qualified professional. They specifically warn against renting those cheap home steam machines from the hardware store. Those are meant for synthetic plastics, and they will absolutely overwet your wool, which just leads to rapid resoiling, ugly discoloration, and even mold. Yikes. Ultimately, having a beautifully styled, cozy space comes down to one big decision. It's about balancing that undeniable luxury, historical resilience, and all those amazing natural benefits against a very strict, highly specific maintenance routine. So I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder. Knowing everything you know now about the premium upfront price tag, the potential for incredible lifelong durability, and the careful chemical-free upkeep required, would you let life walk all over wool in your home?